Please state your name.
Erin Robinson.
When were you born?
29th of September 2000.
Can you tell me a dream you've had?
I used to have a dream about 3 times a week. So I had like it's pretty recurring, of this man, and we were in like a Moroccan market, and there were like all of these fabrics everywhere. But every time he like turned, I couldn't see his face because I'd do like spices or something, you know, like covering his face. And then keep like trying to follow him and like see his face, and I'd always wake up just as I had a clear view, and he was kind of turning around.
So
it wasn't like scary or anything, it was just like...
So this was reoccurring?
Yeah, I had it like 2 or 3 times a week for like 3 years.
Have you ever gotten close to seeing the man's face?
Yeah, so at the end of the like dream, I would wake up just as he was kind of turning around. So, but I never actually saw his face.
So you never see the man's face?
Never see the man's face.
So why Moroccan market?
I have no idea. I don't even know if it's Moroccan. It's just like some kind of like...
Like the market from Aladdin?
Yes. The market from Aladdin.
So how have you been lately?
Good. I was sick for like a month.
What do you fear most?
Children and office jobs.
Oh. Why so? Why do you think so?
I feel like our species has developed so much, we're no longer restricted to just reproduction. Like, you don't have to just... Your sole purpose in life is no more to reproduce, you know? Like, I feel like there's too many people already. It's pretty selfish to have a kid when there's so many other kids that don't have parents.
Do you think you'd ever adopt a kid?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe an older kid. I don't really like children. But office jobs, because I feel like I'd be bored.
Where do you see yourself in the future?
Not in an office job. I don't know, not bored. Doing something that I actually enjoy.
What's the earliest memory you can recall?
I was sitting on a bench, and I remember picking something up, and my auntie came over and was like, what the heck? I think it must have been a knife or something. Because she was like, oh my god, and I was like, what? And it was just a thing, I can't even remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was a knife. Pretty sure it was a knife.
When you die, if you do die, where will you go?
If you do die, we're all gonna die. So when we die, we decay, go into the ground and we rot. Nothing else happens. I don't know why our species has such an obsession. People call me cynical, but I just feel like the most logical and real person can still sometimes have this crazy like obsession with just wanting to know what's out there. I think it's because we're too susceptible to imagining what might have happened, and we can't accept that all of this just ends.
What are the things you enjoy?
I don't know. I want to figure that out. I do like being creative, using the right side of my brain, but I do also like science. So.
How do you think humans have come in understanding the mind and body personally?
I feel like humans struggle to look at it objectively.
Or looking for a universal meaning?
Yeah. I mean, a search for meaning is something that humans have always done, but I feel like it's kind of the sinew and bone of our curse. Yeah, we can't just look at something and be like, oh yeah, it's the body, and so you can't look at it and be like, this is parts of an animal, or like, no, this is a human. It means more.
What's the worst thing you've done?
For me, probably, I just think lying in general. It comes in like different forms, but if you probably ask someone else, like my parent, what I did, like the worst thing I've done, probably be a different answer. But for me, it's lying.
There you go. It's this person there doing their office job.
Oh my god. Yes, good. I like the skull.
Oh, you're filming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you state your name, please?
Lucien Robber,
When were you born?
9th of May 2000.
Can you tell me a dream you've had?
I actually don't remember many dreams. I actually don't remember any. I really have to think about this one. Well, I don't really remember my dreams, but in year 9 we had to do this, like, surrealist thing for art,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody had cool dreams to paint in their paintings, but I didn't have any.
Do you think there's a reason you don't dream?
I think I just, when I fall into a sleep, I fall into a deep sleep.
Mm.
Yeah. Which is a good thing, I guess.
What's the earliest memory you have from your
My
childhood? Or...
earliest memory is when I used to live in Annandale, in Sydney.
Mhm.
And it's kind of boring, but I think it was when I was like 5 or 3 or something, around that age. And it's just me and my sister, and we're blowing bubbles out of a bubble gun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if I remember that as my first memory or because my sister told me that. I have like a selective memory. I remember things that are usually not important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, how have you been lately?
Lately, good. Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the future?
Well, I hope to see myself doing something productive, but that's a big fear of mine, is that I won't do what I want to do, but I don't even know what I want to do, so...
What do you fear most?
Well, probably like failing. Yeah, that's probably like my
Failing.
biggest fear.
Anything in particular failing at?
Anything, really. Failing at
Like, what comes to mind when you think,
like productivity, I suppose. Being productive.
what would you classify productivity as?
I honestly don't know.
Do you kind of measure your productivity based on others?
Probably, I base what I think productivity is and what other people think it is.
You said you used to live in Sydney.
Yeah, I moved when I was around 7.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live in Annandale, and then I moved up to the Blue Mountains, where I am now. Yeah. Sometimes I think about how different I would have been if I still lived in Sydney.
How so?
Just like my general personality, like, I don't know. Yeah.
Can you state your name, please?
Gull,
When were you born?
13th of February 2001.
What's an unconscious dream you've had? Something that reoccurs in your dreams.
Ooh. Something that reoccurs in my dreams. Nothing really reoccurs in my dreams, to be honest. They're all... Oh, actually, I can't like pinpoint an example, but for some reason, like, my dreams consist of several things that have happened throughout my week,
Mhm.
and then it's like jam-packed into one thing, and it doesn't make any sense. my dreams don't make sense. Yeah, so that's kind of like repetitive because I wake up and just like realize like, oh yeah, that actually happened, you know?
What do you fear most?
I fear being alone and also death.
Two.
Yeah.
Which one do you fear more?
Oh. Being alone.
How alone is alone for you?
Just like the unknown. Being alone, kind of.
Do you have this fear a lot? Or is it kind of durational?
I feel like it's developed, but it's not extreme. Like, I feel like when I'm older, it'll probably be more of a, you know, like your family gets older, you get kind of scared. But yeah.
How have you been lately?
Well, this week I've actually been pretty stressed. And exhausted, but I know good things will come out of it. I'm not usually like this. I usually stress over little things, and this is a little thing that doesn't, shouldn't affect me like it is. But it's okay.
Do you get stressed a lot?
I used to a lot. Like when I was younger, on like schoolwork, and it like doesn't even matter now. So now I'm kind of just like, I've learned to let go, which is better. So
How has learning to let go really helped you?
it's just like it just made me realize that like I should enjoy every moment, every experience, every second of like my day as much as possible, rather than just getting worked up about the little things like grades and test results and all of those little things that just don't actually matter. But, yeah.
When you die, if you do die, where will you go?
Hopefully a comfortable spot,
Do you believe in the whole idea of an afterlife?
I think I do. Like I don't really think about it. But yeah, I wouldn't say I've made a decision whether I do or I don't, but I feel like it's a concept to definitely think about more. But I feel like I'll think about it more when I'm older, if you know what I mean?
Still a lot of time ahead of you.
Yeah.
Can you think back to an early memory?
Well, I remember like sitting outside my house in North Sydney in like a cute little red dress with like my afro hair, just like going up to the veranda and like bread in my hand and feeding like the birds. Yeah.
Did you like your hair back then?
I don't think I'd be able to pull it off now. I think the length it is now is solid. I don't think I would go back to having that afro. I think it was cute for like a 5-year-old,
Trying to make a nose. Where do you see yourself in a couple of years?
I don't know. I'm more of a kind of like, I go with the flow, happy to do things that are out of my comfort zone. Just, yeah, I actually don't have a very planned, structured kind of path. Yeah, I don't think I ever will.
What's something you'd like to do?
Definitely something in the creative industry, so like creating more art and just kind of expressing myself.
How do you feel like expressing yourself has really helped you in recent years?
I think it's definitely built up my confidence, and it's also kind of like come hand in hand with like how I behave and how I, you know, like how it draws me to other people and people draw themselves to me, and it's just like it kind of builds a whole sense of, you know, it creates something new. Like I don't like being who I'm not, and I feel like through expressing that, whether it be through art, fashion, what you eat, I don't know, where you go and all of that, I think that those all come into play, like who you are, and that's kind of like what I've taken from that. And I feel like past few years I've just kind of been finding myself, and I feel like you know, it's coming together really nicely, so I'm happy with that.
Do you like your hair now compared to the afro?
Yeah, I mean, I actually, like, when I was a bit younger, I hated my hair. Not when I was like 5, like I'm talking about when I was like 10 or something. I hated it. I wanted straight hair. My mom always told me, no, your hair's amazing, blah, 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 blah. I'd say maybe a year ago is when I actually really started liking my hair, and now I love it.
Why do you think it took you a while to love your hair?
I think because I wanted to blend in, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like a lot of, like, I wanted to be like everyone else, straight hair kind of thing, you know, nothing really, like, crazy. But yeah, I just, like, back to what I was saying before, I just kind of, like, learned to, like, accept myself and find myself and, like, who I am.
Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Lily Rogers.
When were you born?
On the 3rd of July 2000.
Can you tell me a dream you've had?
I can only think of nightmares when you ask me. One time I had this nightmare, and it was, do you know the movie with that, like, babysitter? And they, like, keep calling him, like, have you checked on the children? And then, like, the police trace the call, and it's, like, coming from inside her house. It was like that. It was like, I was with my grandparents for some reason. And then, like, we got some, like, call or something, and then it was like, it's coming from inside the house, and then we were, like, running, and that's all.
Who do you think was calling?
Someone who's not a stranger. I don't know, probably just someone from the family or something.
What's another dream you've had?
Another dream I've had? Let me try to think of a happy dream.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of, like, you know those weird dreams where it's like everyone from, like, all these different people in your life in, like, one place, weirdly. It's usually at my school. That's, like, the general setting, but it'll be like
Do you wake up naked in school?
No. Never had that dream before. I had a dream that our school had, like, rockets, though. Like, our school was like a, like, amusement park, but then it was like everyone from my life was, like, there, and I was like, what is happening?
Who else was there, you said?
Sorry?
Who else was there in the house?
My grandparents.
Your grandparents?
Yeah.
Okay, how like your grandparents?
How are my grandparents?
Yeah.
They're great. They live in Canberra. So we go up and visit sometimes.
Are you close with your grandparents?
Yeah.
Don't anymore.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. There's your old granny. So what's like your worst fear?
I don't know what approach to take to this question. Okay, first of all, I'm scared of, like, all those, like, little, like, not, like, very, very scared, but, like, say if we're talking, like, horror movie watching kind of thing, I'm scared of, like, all those, like, creepy little, like, dolls and stuff. And, like animatronics. And then like on like a deeper level, I guess like I guess fear of like being stuck somewhere.
So stuck as in...
Physically trapped, also I guess mentally trapped. I don't know.
Do you,
Again, I'm thinking of nightmares again. I'm thinking, have you ever had that dream where you're like running and you're not going anywhere? Whether it's like physical or like mentally. And also like, I don't know if this is a fear or like an irritation, but like people not understanding you. Like, you know, when you're like trying to say something and no one's getting it. I think that, but like on a deeper level, not just like in a conversation. Scary?
There you go. Your worst fear is to be stuck in a situation where nothing changes.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like, I'd like.
You know. Time goes by. Where do you think you'll see yourself in a couple of years? If you even do, really think about that.
Like where I want to see myself?
Where do you want to be? I think that's the best place to start.
Well, I think I want to be in like film school in a couple of years. Well, I was doing like a course thingy and we were watching Whiplash and there was like this like 2 seconds of the movie where there was like a dolly going into the character's face and our teacher was like, oh, like, look at that dolly and stuff. And I was, you know, I had always thought, like, you know when you do, like, film studies and stuff in English, and you're like, oh, they're, like, exaggerating or, like, over-analysing stuff. But then the teacher who was, like, showed us how long it takes to, like, set up that dolly and, like, all the, like, the process that goes into that just for those 2 seconds. And I was like, I was like, oh, my God, so much meaning. So
how have you been lately?
Very interesting. How have I been? I've been good. I've been a bit tired recently.
Do you need more sleep?
I need more sleep.
What keeps you up at night?
Well, this is so dumb. Last night I went out to dinner with a friend and then we had coffee after dinner. So last night that kept me up for a while.
It's not really bad thoughts or...
No.
What's your name?
My name is Charlotte Mitchell.
When were you born?
I was born on the 2nd of February 2001.
Tell me a dream you've had.
A dream I've had. My most recent dream, I had to keep running, like, I'm not sure, I was being chased by something, I don't remember, and I was just running through all the streets of the city, through Town Hall and Central. I was just running as fast as I could. I had to escape from something.
Do you have this dream often?
I've had a few repetitive dreams about just having to run or having to leave, like, it's sort of never ending, like, no matter how far I run or, you know, escape, I can never escape it. It's happened a few times that I've had this dream.
Do you have any other dreams?
Yeah, I have lots of other dreams. I dream every night, like maybe like 3 to 4 dreams every night. Sometimes I can lucid dream, which is interesting.
What kind of lucid dreams have you had, if you remember any?
I do remember a few. I really like flying while lucid dreaming. Just doing everyday activities, like going to shops, like, and then sometimes like imagining activities that will never happen.
What's one of your worst fears?
Fears? One of my worst fears, I think one of my worst fears would be like disappointing my family. Yeah.
Do you get that? Do you worry about that a lot?
Yes.
How do you feel you disappoint them?
By doing things they don't see or approve as the right way or the right thing to do.
Do you think you have a strong sense of right and wrong?
I have a personal sense of right and wrong, and I believe that may differ from the public opinion or the general opinion, but I do have my own strong senses of what I believe is right and what is wrong.
Have you ever done anything that was wrong?
Yes.
Would you like to share one that may not get you arrested?
That may not get me arrested. I have, like, just, I don't know, I'm often do things selfishly, like, not always consciously, but I do think of myself for other people, which is not something I'd like to do, and, yeah, I feel like that's wrong.
Where do you see yourself in a couple of years?
In a couple of years, I see myself overseas in New York, away from Sydney.
Is there any reason New York in particular?
My sister lives in New York, and I've been a few times, and I love it.
What's your favourite thing about New York?
I really like the vibe from New York. It's very different to Sydney or any other place that I've been.
What kind of stuff do you hope to be doing?
In New York, or?
Yeah.
I hope to be doing photography there, and yeah, photography.
What kind of photography?
Like portrait, fashion, like yeah, urban photography.
So, do you have a strong connection with your sister?
I do.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please state your name.
Alice Smith,
When were you born?
15th of August 2000.
Can you tell me a dream you've had?
I always have these dreams where I mash places together, so I do, like I mix my home and my school and like family, friends' houses, and I mix them all together. So it's like it's like a version of my experience and like my world.
Lucid dream?
Sorry?
Do you lucid dream? You know, where you control your dreams.
Oh.
You ever had that?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I have a really annoying dream where I'm like trying to go somewhere and everything's going wrong, or like I can't run or something. And then, but I know that it's happening and I know it's a dream and I know it's annoying me. So I can just like, I control how I'm feeling about it, but I can't control that it's still happening.
What's your worst fear?
Ooh. Worst fear? I don't know. I feel like I have a massive phobia of vomit, so it's like that could be one of my worst fears, but I feel like...
Well, what do you fear most?
I don't know. I fear that people are gonna think... I don't know, like... that I'm mean or boring. That freaks me out.
You care what people think about you. What?
Yeah. But not about certain things. Some things I don't care at all. I'm like, yeah, well, this is just me.
So, what are some of the things you're unapologetic about?
When and where and how I dance. And sometimes what I wear and sometimes like how I look. But then at other times I get really self-conscious about that, so.
How have you been lately?
Pretty good actually. Because it's like the end of term and holidays. I'm doing a cool art thing.
So, is there any colour you like the most? More than any other colour?
I think green. Green or yellow.
Why do you like that colour?
Because it's so neutral, like it doesn't have an attachment to like gender or like expectations. And most things that those colours relate to are like nice. I don't know. Like happy. Like yellow is often like, oh yeah, yellow is a happy colour, but like green is so calming to me. I don't know. I like it.
Do you think you like green because of nature?
Probably, yeah. Like
Mm.
growing up around a lot of bush and stuff.
What's your earliest memory about the bush?
Probably just going on long bush walks with the fam and family friends.
What particularly about long bush walks do you enjoy?
Well, I used to hate them actually when I was a child, but now I like them because, I don't know, it's something that I've always known, it's something that I've always been around, so yeah, it's really familiar, like that context is really familiar to me, and I think, especially, I did a course at school, which was like in the bush basically, so yeah, just like getting to know that context better and understanding it more and just finding it a place that is comfortable to be in.
Do you see yourself living in the Blue Mountains in the future?
I can imagine definitely coming back, but I definitely need to leave at one point as well. I don't think I could stay there my whole life, but I think yeah, I'll definitely have to come back many a time just because it's what I've always known.
Thank you.
Thanks.